Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the file. I'm going to jump back to the File Explorer, and I'm going to open up sandwich.drush.inc. Now, if we scroll through this, you see there's a lot of comments. To help you get an idea of what each function is for, I'm going to go ahead and walk us through each of these functions line by line. This first command, Sandwichdrush command, is a hook, the structure of which is the name of the file. So we have sandwich.drush.inc, so the function name will begin sandwich, and then drush command. We begin with an empty items array, and each element inside of this items array is a command. The key is the actual command, so make-me-a-sandwich, and then there's an array of properties. We have the description, makes a delicious sandwich, a list of arguments. We have just one argument here, but then it has help built into it. Options, in this case there's just one, spreads, but we could have more. And then there's examples. Now all of these are pulled together in order to create the help that we just saw. We can also provide a set of aliases for this particular command. Notice that because this is an array, we can create many aliases for it. And then we set the level of bootstrap. Now in this case, it's drush bootstrap drush, which, as it specifies, is no bootstrap at all, but it's just after drush gets loaded. In our example from before, where we're listing the users that have accessed the site in a particular order, we're going to want a full bootstrap, so we'll see this constant change. Now the second item here is a topic, and there's some information here about what a topic is. A user can view the list of topics when they type drush topic. We're going to go ahead and bypass this part right now because it's not essential to creating the command that we're working on right now. At the very end of sandwich drush command, we return the items. I'm going to scroll down. This next function here is optional. It's an implementation of drush help, so it's the name of the file _drush_help, and it gets past one parameter, which is the section. So first we check to see what the section is, and if it has something to do with our commands, we'll return some data here. So notice the structure here, the case is drush, : and then the name of the command, which is make me a sandwich, and then we're returning some help. Now above it says that it would use the description of the command if this didn't exist. This next item here will display a title when all of the commands in drush are listed. So this will list our two commands under a heading called sandwich commands, whereas if we didn't, it said that the default would be all commands in the blank, which would be the name of the file. And then here's a brief description of what these commands are supposed to be for. I'm going to continue to scroll down. This next function is a validation function for a particular command, and the structure is drush _ the name of the file, and then the name of the command _validate, where all of the dashes are turned into underscores in the name of the command here. So in this case, what it's doing is checking to make sure that you're logged in as the root user. So before, in order to get the command to make us a sandwich, we had to use sudo, which made us a root user temporarily. So this is the logic around running that. Now it shows here that if you're running in a Windows environment, you're not going to get this to work properly, but hopefully in the future, they'll add some tools here that will allow even Windows users to make a sandwich. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down. Now this next function is where the magic happens. So this is drush _sandwich, which is the name of the file, and then the name of the command, make me a sandwich. And any arguments that it takes are going to be passed here as parameters to the function. Now the actual logic here doesn't necessarily matter too much. What it's doing is running through all of the spreads and the filling, generating a message, and then printing that message using drush print. So this is the important part to look at, is that instead of using an echo statement or print statement, we're using drush print in order to output to the command line. And notice there's no return value. Everything that happens here is printed using drush print. This final function at the bottom lists some possible autocomplete values for the argument that gets passed. So it can be turkey, cheese, jelly, or butter. You can pass in anything, but this will autocomplete if you hit tab on your way to creating the command. So let's go ahead and run this command one more time with arguments and options. I'm going to jump back to the command line, and let's go ahead and do sudo drush make me a sandwich. And then I'm going to type turkey, and then for spreads, I'm going to add mayo. I'm going to hit enter and supply my password. And here's our sandwich one more time.